Right then, hello everyone and welcome back to the Assetto Corsa Offline Championship. We are here for Super Formulas Round 5 of the Championship here at the Sepang International Circuit in Malaysia. Sorry for the long wait and the silence during the opening moments of qualifying, but yeah, Super Formula is back, ladies and gentlemen. And we are here for the 5th round of the championship. We're slowly approaching the midpoint of the season, and the championship surely is heating up. My name is Miran in the commentary booth. We're here for 20 minutes of qualifying action at the Sepang International Circuit. We're on board with Erkin Nyt in the Docomo Team Dandelion car, but before we properly get stuck into the action, it's time to go through the track. So, the Sepang International Circuit, located in the Sepang district of Malaysia, approximately 45 kilometers south of the capital of Kuala Lumpur. The track was opened in March of 1999, designed by infamous track architect Herman Tilke, this being obviously one of his earlier works to make it onto the Formula 1 calendar, and it did so in 1999 and hosted the Malaysian Grand Prix all the way up until 2017. Yeah, today the track mostly hosts motorcycle racing. You have the Malaysian Motorcycle Grand Prix, which has featured on the MotoGP calendar ever since 1999, with a break in 2020 and 2021 due to the COVID-19 calendar. You also have GT World Challenge Asia, the Asian Le Mans Series, and the Sepang 12 Hours. So, yeah, mostly continental racing series then here today. Unfortunately, no more Formula 1 since 2017, but yeah, we are now here with Super Formula, and this layout that we are running, the Grand Prix circuit, which has remained unchanged since 1999 and has stood the test of time. It is 5.543 kilometers long and features 15 turns. And well, what really can be said about this track, one of Herman Tilke's earlier works, and obviously to many one of his best works as well. The track has got a lot of high-speed corners, a lot of high radius corners as well, which makes for a very, very flowing track, and a very high speed track as well, considering the elevation and the overall nature of the track. It makes for a very, very interesting one indeed. You've got this snaily bit of turns 1 and then 2 as the track goes down. You can carry some really, really great battles here as you head out of turn number 3 and then down into turn 4 as well. And then you've obviously got the blind turn number 14, the blind right-hander of turn 14, into the final corner of turn number 15, where if you are daring enough, you'll be able to launch and move up the inside line of the car ahead of you. But yeah, this track is quite a challenge for not only the driver but the car as well. Lots of G's being pulled. You really have to go all out here at this track, and it just tests every single part of the car, really, because it's got high speed straights, it's got low speed corners, high speed corners, sharp braking zones, open corners. It's got everything, really, and it makes for a very, very brilliant track. And you can see a lot of elements from this track were carried on to a lot of Tilke's later works, such as Shanghai and Bahrain as well. So it really is a very, very interesting track. All focus then will be on the top 2 in the championship, Rahul Patel and Giulia Chisetti. And right now in qualifying, it seems to be opposite day, as Emilia Konechina currently sits P1 with a 1:41.601, and Rahul Patel and Giulia Chisetti sit in last place, P18 and P19 respectively at the moment. So yeah, maybe not the start they were hoping for, but yeah, we'll just have to wait and see if both of them will be able to get an improvement in on the board. Patel now rounds the final corner then. Through turn number 15 goes the Indian driver, Koto Sambi, getting himself up into 9th place. Patel's going to go across the line, and it's 17th. So he lifts himself up 1 position, but this is not looking good for Patel nor Chisetti. So, yeah, they will have to get a move on, considering they will be fighting for points here against each other. Erkin Nit going up into P6 then. Pavel Sar into 7th he goes then, just ahead of his fellow compatriot Erkin Nit. Samet Özkan goes across the line, and the Swede, who has scored points in all of the last 3 races, now gets himself up into P5. Aiden Smith as well in 3rd. He's doing very, very well for himself. Both Team Dandelion cars in the top 10 at the moment. Here we see Samet Özkan. That's one of the KCMGs he's squabbling with here in qualifying, and the KCMG driver lets him go. Chisetti improves as well. However, the Italian woman stays in last, and it's not looking good. This is the worst and somehow best possible result for both Patel and Chisetti, considering that things are going to stay as they are. So they'll stay very close in the championship if they qualify as it is right now. But yeah, ultimately, I think they would like to qualify ahead of each other and in the points. It's not the worst result in the world if things do finish as they are, but it's not the best either. Joseph Kang gets an improvement in then from P16 on the grid. He currently lines up in. Ekoto Sambi improves as well. Rahul Patel, and now it's looking more like it for Rahul Patel as he goes up into P9 and gets himself into the points. It's not much, but I think that'll do for Rahul Patel then. With 10 minutes to go, you should still... I don't think you should count out Giulia Chisetti just yet. Oh, that's a crash. That is Linus Timell facing the wrong way. Let's see what happened to the Swede, and he got tagged by the Impul car there. I believe he was on an outlap here. No, this is Erik Novosad, the man who won, making his debut here last season. Let's see Erik Novosad then, as I believe he's on a flying lap here. And yeah, Timell trying to let him through, and just mid-corner. Very, very awkward. Timell on the racing line there, and unfortunately for Linus, I think that is going to be his fault. On the gravel there, trying to get it rolling again. And finally is able to do that as well, but that could be damage to the B-Max racing machine, and yeah, certainly won't do Timell any wonders as well, as now he's probably cooked his tires completely, spitting out on the grass and the track. Chisetti then is going to go across the line and does improve to get herself out of last at the moment, but yeah, now the pressure shifts on to Giulia Chisetti here in qualifying, as she's going to have to equal or at least get ahead of Rahul Patel and get herself into the top 10. So there, across the line, up into 4th, Courtney Simpson, P4 it is, with a 144 flat. The former teammate of Giulia Chisetti, all the way back in Formula 1, goes up into P4. Great stuff from Simpson, and that gets one Indian car into the top 10. There's Joseph Kang, South Korean man in the Team Mugen, will be in 13th at the moment with a 144.245. He is about 100th off Ekoto Sambi in 12th. Mateusz Material sets an improvement as well. Not the greatest result at Mandalika, and he'll be looking to not repeat or not start a points drought here at Sepang, that's to say the least. He's now looking at Kang, rounding turn number 5, and then through the right of turn number 6. Fast and fearsome corners. You head into turn number 7, and then turn number 8. Sharp and penciled in corners then as you head down into the uphill chicane, or not the chicane, sorry, the uphill hairpin of turn 9. Now into sector 3 then, you can see Kang about 3/10 off pole woman Konichina as he heads through turn 12 and then 13 in this part. Really high speed as you try to set yourself up for turn 14. Late apex there to try and get the best exit as you head down the back straight now. As we have got another man with me in the commentary booth here. Good afternoon, Jensen. How are you?
Very good, thank you. As I said before, it's very unusual to join a VC with you and not be hurled several death threats and abuse. So that's a nice change.
Yeah, well, great to have you here, Jensen. You're just joining us for Super Formula qualifying. We've got 7.5 minutes left on the board, and yeah, quite a precarious situation. Considering the top two in the championship at the moment. Rahul Patel was just barely able to scrape a time to get himself into the top 10, and Giulia Cesetti at the moment just isn't able to find the pace, and she sits down in 18th position at the moment. So yeah, the top two in the championship not faring too well, and you've got the person last in the championship currently on provisional pole. So yeah, safe to say it's proving to be a bit of an opposite day today here at Sepang, as Patel gets held up there on his flying lap. But I believe that's one of the Team Dandelion cars, whom he goes round the outside lineup, but Patel is not going to be happy about that.
No, not at all. Just watching Smith now, I think also getting held up there. Bit of racing going on there, or towards the final sector of the track. 6 minutes to go here. Wonder if there'll be any penalties for impeding, but I think that's a bit too harsh, given that these are soulless, brainless individuals.
I would refuse to comment on that. Either way, Erkin goes fourth, and Linus Timell now takes provisional pole away from Emilia Konishina as he goes across the line. 1:43.783, only goes about 200 of a second faster than Konishina, and the Polish driver, who was sitting on provisional pole for these 15 minutes, finally has been dethroned by the man in the BMAX Racing, Linus Timell.
Yes, 7 thousandths of a second, sorry. My brain can't count the number of zeros on the end of that. 5.5 minutes to go through the Sebastian Vettel Lance Stroll incident corner, as Saar now goes on top by 0.2 of a second. Very impressive around here. Any remarks towards that, Miran? I wanted to call you Mihail then for some reason.
You're getting your M's confused. Yeah, Pavel Saar, very, very good lap from the Estonian. I really have to give it to him. But yeah, opposite day continues then here in qualifying, as Pavel Saar, he's actually spun him out there. That's Mateusz Material, who he's made contact with. And I dare say contact maybe wasn't needed there, but it was the Polish man's duty to get out of the way, considering he was not on a flying lap here. And Cesetti, here she is. She's going to start a flying lap as she's going to go wheel to wheel with the Impul car there. So that's not the best of ways to start a flying lap as she heads through turn 1 and turn 2, wheel to wheel here. I don't think this will give her any advantages. In fact, there just up ahead is her championship rival Rahul Patel.
Yeah, you want something about 5-second gaps to the car in front of you, and not start your flying lap side by side in a bit of contact there. What if there's going to be a bit of damage on Cesetti's car?
And drama here in qualifying then. Giulia Cesetti and Rahul Patel, championship rivals, making contact as Cesetti was on her out lap there, and Cesetti was on her flying lap and Patel was on her out lap, and Cesetti was getting held up by the Impul car up ahead. Certainly won't be too happy about the current state of affairs. But yeah, back to Pavel Saar, who I was talking about earlier. And as I said, opposite day continuing here at Sepang. Pavel Saar, who hasn't scored any points in Super Formula so far in these first 4 races of the season, now sits on provisional pole. And Emilia Konishina as well, who held it for most of the session as well, has also not scored any points in Super Formula so far. So it's a pretty weird qualifying considering the circumstances. The championship very, very close then heading out of Mandalika. And yeah, considering we have the person in the leader championship in 10th and the other one in 18th, it is quite weird to say the least, Jensen.
Yes, it is extremely weird. My brain can't establish why that's weird, but we roll. But I must say though, Chisetti really, really far down the order. To say that they were in second place in the title despite only finishing 2 races so far. I think they're going a bit fast now, only 600ths of a second down on pole position, so obviously hopefully an improvement coming up and hopefully not too much damage there with the collision in the last lap with Patel, I believe it was.
Yeah, it was. We just have to see if Chisetti's going to be able to improve. One man who I would like to commend in this qualifying session would actually be Linus Timel. He had a bit of an accident earlier in qualifying. It's been a very accident-filled qualifying session, I really have to say so, as Samet Özkan and Mateusz Material, both of the Nakajima racing cars, improving into the top 10, and that's knocked Rahul Patel down into 11th, and we'll see if Giulia Chisetti, seeing Patel fall out of the top 10, could potentially capitalize on this. We'll just have to see if she's actually going to finish the lap up. I think she is.
Distance slipstream as well.
Yeah, as she heads down now into the final corner. What is it going to be for Giulia Chisetti? Is she going to be able to get the improvement that she also needs then, as she's going to make her way across the line? And yes, it is going to be an improvement, but unfortunately she is only about, I was going to say a few hundredths off, but Rahul Patel responds to Chisetti's lap and gets himself up into 6th.
Yeah, good work there from Patel. Chisetti down in 13th place. That's not where you want to be, especially when you're winning races last time out. Of course, the cars, the field of cars varying from track to track. Sepang being one of those really technical tracks, one where you have to hit the right marks of the track. There isn't really many different lines you can take through these corners, so it's all about trying to stick to the racing line. Just watching now with Chisetti, I would have Chisetti suffered a little bit of damage in that collision, and that's why she's a little bit slower, but just going to have to see now, as she will be coming a little bit downhill and up towards the final sector split. See how far off she is. It's just going to be, it just pops up on your screen now. 1 minute 2.5 seconds. 2 temps down.
That could be a decent lap if she decides to, or if she is able to finish up it well in the 3rd sector, as the checker flag is now out. Leon Tremblant, the first man across the line, does not improve. What about the man who's 3rd in the championship, Ekoto Sambi, then as a Kenyan rounds the final corner? Let's see if he is going to be able to do it.
Crossing the line now. Doesn't improve.
Ooh. And now then, Chisetti is in, and Giulia Chisetti will be starting P13 here at Sepang at best. So that is quite the upset for Giulia Chisetti, but it is good news for Rahul Patel here at Sepang, because he'll be starting in the points, and his nearest rival Chisetti will not. Either way, Zachary Fitzwater is going to be the next man across the line from 12th on the grid. He'll be able to lift himself up a few positions here. No, he'll be starting P12 at best.
Yeah, I'm wondering if the track's starting to heat up a bit too hot for these tyres to get enough gripping, because I don't think I've seen anyone improve that much apart from Patel, unless I'm about to be proved wrong by Kang, who comes around the final corner now. Got to get the throttle down and across the line. Doesn't improve.
Yeah, I think you are right, Jensen. I don't think we're going to see many improvements in these final stages of qualifying, which is a bit odd, because that's usually where we do see the most improvements. But
I think there might be one here.
Could still be proven wrong here. And yeah, as I just say, that Eric Novosad darts up into 3rd. The man who won here last year, will be starting third as Mateusz Material makes his way across the line, claiming pole position then for the first time this season after scoring 0 points in the first 4 races. Pavel Sar starts on pole position here at Sepang, and yeah, I think this is certainly the last thing we were expecting, Jensen.
Yeah, definitely. But that's just what we love about Super Formula, isn't it? I swear last week we had someone on pole that was completely out of the title fight. We've got Saar now this week on pole position. Excellent performance from him. Just as we thought that no one else was going to improve or whatever, Saar has come out on top in this session.
Yeah, brilliant stuff. But the grid is set then, and it's time to go through the starting grid then before lights out here at Sepang. And starting on pole position, Pavel Sar for Assetto Corsa here lines up in P1, and alongside him on the front row, one man who already has a pole position this season, Linus Timell for B Max Racing lines up in second. Erik Novosad, who won here last year, starts in third with Emilia Konishina in fourth. Samet Özkan will be P5 with Aiden Smith in 7th. Championship leader Rahul Patel lines up a decent 7th as Erki Nytt will be lining up 8th. Jafari Blackwood will take 9th as Mateusz Material rounds up the top 10.
And in P11 is Simpson, P11 is Trimblance, P12, sorry, I am screwed up here. P13 is Fitzwater Senior, P14 Chisetti, rolling down the order as we mentioned in qualifying. Kang lines up in P15, P16 is Chao Chinats, P17 is Zambi, P18 is Miranevci doing miracles in that car to be in the car and in the commentary box, and we've got Adam in P19.
Yeah, and that is it. The grid is set then, and we're getting ready to go racing here at Sepang for Super Formula. The lights coming on. Sar on pole position for 22 laps here around Sepang. And we're underway here at Sepang. Not the greatest of launches from Sar, but a very good one from Novosad at that. And he could try and take the lead into turn 1. He's already got the jump on Linus Timell into turn number 1. Konishina could try and get the Sweden into turn 1, as Timell could try and make it wheel to wheel with Pavel Sar, as Erik Novosad takes the lead here at Sepang once again. Novosad, the Canadian, leads at Sepang just as he did last year.
And Jesus Christ, what a launch that was. So I think Sar probably getting a bit bogged down in the gears, trying to get the start going. But Novosad straight into the lead, straight down the inside. And that's an excellent start for him. I'm sure he's going to be well thrilled about that. And now he's just got another 22 laps of Sepang to try and hold on and take his first win of the season.
Yes, indeed, as there's Samet Özkan was trying to line up and win. Emilia Konishina wasn't able to do it though, and Jafari Blackwood is going to try to go round the outside line of his fellow former Formula 1 driver, as the two are going to go wheel to wheel. Then into the hairpin we go, and Blackwood gets it done before the corner, but there's Rahul Patel attempting a move on Samet Özkan. I think he bites off a bit more than he can chew though, as Özkan will be ahead of him for the time being.
Yes. There's a lot of squabbling about right now. You see cars kicking up a lot of dirt, going onto the going off the track a little bit over the track limits. Chisetti up into P13, so good start from Chisetti, making up a place already from P14 on the grid. Just watching Simpson now, just going to have a massive slipstream train down the back straightaway before the final corner. So we're just going to see a few moves into this corner coming up. Just watching material now. Trying to make a move on the inside of Fitzwater. See if we can get the move done. It's going to be side by side coming across the finish line though. I think he just didn't get the exit quite right. I think Fitzwater's just got the run on him. And Fitzwater's going to have that inside line unless Material can switch to the inside line, which he does. Brakes now heavily into the corner. And it's going to switch from the inside to the outside. I think tiny bit of contact there.
Yeah, it was very close, but either way, Mateusz Material pulls it off brilliantly to get past Zachary Fitzwater. Now up ahead is Courtney Simpson there in 10th, as we see Ryan Adam and Ekoto Sambi fighting for 17th position. Miranevci dropping down into last as Adam tries to go around the outside line of the Kenyan. And Adam is able to pull it off into 17th then. But on the race lead, or on the second lap then, Erik Novosad now leads by 0.5 of a second from Linus Timell. This is the dream start for Eric Novosad, really. Just rockets from third to first and is able to keep a consistent and at least a sizable gap to Linus Timell.
I'm just watching FG now making a move. I just think probably got caught on the curb there. No grip to get a launch. FG down in 19th. Everyone keeping it relatively clean so far. I think we've probably seen a tiny bit of contact here or there, but rubbing is racing, as they say in America. I'm probably going to get shot for that quote, but still. Timell now up front in the slipstream of Novosad. Novosad doing well to hold on to the lead of the race as he enters the final corner and is about to start the third lap of this Super Formula race. See if Timell can make any kind of move into the first corner. Timell setting the fastest lap of the race whilst doing so. Probably too far back to make a move into turn one. It's just watching Sambi now on Adam, pulls out. Not getting any benefit of the slipstream there, but I think he's going to make a move down the inside into turn one we go now. And down the inside, he's going to switch back to the outside line. See if he can keep that stuck around the outside. And now it switches back to the inside line. And I think he's got that move done, Miran.
Yeah, good stuff from Ekoto Sambi then. That's going to be one more position, but Ryan Adam could try and retaliate here as he goes to the inside line, then into turn number 4. But Sambi round the outside line, determined to keep his position, stays in 17. So good stuff from Ekoto Sambi. We mentioned Linus Timell a bit earlier, and he is actually closing in here on Eric Novosad into the hairpin. Gets close under braking, but can't do anything just yet as he has the fastest lap of the race now. Linus Timell, who hasn't won a race since that fateful day in Italy, all the way back in Formula 2 in 2017. So it has been a very, very long while since Linus Timell has been on the top step of the podium.
Yes, just going to see now, very, very close now onto this back straight. It's got about, I think that's for about an 800-meter straight, a kilometer long straight. I don't know, I'm just waffling off statistics here. Down towards the final corner. Timell still behind Novosad. We're just going to see now if the slipstream will help him down. Down into turn one we go, onto lap 4. Timell, as Konechna sets the fastest lap of the race. Timell still too far back to make a move. I think Novosad just controlling the race from the front. We've just watched Adam get past Evchi through the final corner. Down towards turn one we go. Everyone's still keeping it relatively clean. We haven't seen any accidents so far. That's probably commentators' curse about to kick in there as we can watch Fitzwater Senior racing with Chisetti and Material.
Yeah, and this could get interesting then. Giulia Chisetti will be trying to get past these guys to get up into the podium, but she's only made up about one position from her original starting position. So yeah, progress is being made, but not at the pace I think she would have wished for, as Novosad didn't get the best of runs out of turn number 8 there. Could Timell try something here? No, not quite. He's going to have to stay behind, but he's got a very good chance of trying it, obviously, down the back straight and obviously into turn 1 on the next lap. So it's all about being patient, really.
Yeah, all about being patient. As watching Miran Evci making the same move that he did many laps ago, or a couple of laps ago, ends up bouncing across the curb, and you just don't have any contact with the ground whilst you're doing that. You don't have any kind of acceleration out of corner. You just lose out trying to make moves like that. So hopefully Evci will learn to stop doing that kind of move at that point. But he's still gaining on Adam out of the final corner. He's going to have that massive slipstream as well from all those cars in front.
Yeah, he seems to be good on the pace compared to Adam, but yeah, it's just it's all for nothing when you keep making silly mistakes. As here is Zachary Fitzwater then. He's going to try to get past Mateusz Material as he is on the outside line. He's going to switch to the inside line though, forcing Material to the outside as Jafari Blackman has a fast lap of the race. Here is Linus Timell then. He's going to go round the outside line of Eric Novosad through turn number 2 we go. Another turn number 2. Linus Timell takes the lead here at Sepang, but I don't think it is over yet. Nosad's going to try one last dive to the inside line here as he tries to make it stick, or at least tries to go up and alongside him, but it's all for nothing, unfortunately, as Linus Timel now leads here at Sepang.
Yes, and a very good move there. Just watching now, I think into turn 1 we go, just a replay. Make sure.
Oh, and it was a lockup. It was a lockup from Erik Novosad, and Linus Timel dancing his way around the outside line of Novosad, took the advantage perfectly and swooped up into the race lead. Not often you see a race leader making a mistake like that, although we did see it in Formula 1 yesterday.
Discord bug. Right, I'm back.
Hello.
Hello.
But yeah, Linus Timel then will be trying to capitalize off that pace as Miran FG runs off the road in an attempt to try and get past Ryan Adam, and things really not going his way then. But yeah. As we look,
very interesting.
Yeah, I thought you had something more to say there, but yeah. Either way, we're now looking at Jafari Blackwood, another former Formula 1 driver on the grid. Drove for Haas in 2019 and 2020. Now moves to Super Formula for 2021. So we're looking at Zachary Fitzwater is going to try a move to the inside line of Courtney Simpson. Late move as well from the Australian, and he is on a charge here today, as he's going to try to go to the inside line, possibly tucks him behind for the slipstream. Will he try anything into turn number 1? Yes, he will. On the inside, heading into the first corner, but he's going to have the outside through turn number 2, and is that going to give him the traction he needs to get past Courtney Simpson and drop him out of the points? Not quite then, or maybe it is actually going to be it, as it is for Zachary Fitzwater, getting himself onto the points. Great stuff from Fitzwater, as we see his teammate Tremblant get up into 15th ahead of functional Chow Shynot. Chow Shynot attempt to move on the inside, attempt a bit of retaliation, but it's going to be Tremblant who remains in P15 then for the time being. And yeah, both Kondo racing cars making moves then on lap 6 out of 22. Fitzwater moving up to the points, and Tremblant moving up into P15. So Tremblant not quite there yet, but it is a good sign as FG is going to try it once again on Ryan Adam here into the final corner. Or not the final corner, what am I saying? The turn 9, that's definitely not the final corner. But yeah, does not work for me and FG once again. The curb just upsetting the car, and you're not able to get the traction that you need. That's Linus Timel then, lap 6 out of 22, now leads by 2.1 seconds ahead of Erik Novosad. So Linus Timel controlling the race then at the moment. This is yet another fastest lap as we approach lap 7. Here though is a Koto Sambi. He's going to try on the inside line a function of Chow Shynot. Chow Shynot got overtaken by Tremblant. Will most likely not want to lose another position here to a Koto Sambi. Sambi's going to go to the inside line anyways into turn number 1. And the two go wheel to wheel, then through 1 and then 2. Side by side with each other as we head out turn number 3. Chow Shynot able to keep it stick on the outside line there, but Sambi still keeping it wheel to wheel as we head into turn number 4. Then Koto Sambi on the inside line then, but Chow Shynot I think he's going to get the better on the outside line and is going to be able to cover him off as Sambi dips the wheel into the gravel there, but luckily for the Kenyan it doesn't upset the car too much, and Chow Shynot, strong on the defense, keeps at least one position to himself. So we're now looking at Pavel Sar chasing down Erik Novosad, who took that race lead away from him on the opening lap. Will be trying to get back up into P2 and possibly continue a charge or recontinue his charge for the race. And FG once again just tries it into the chicane, or not the chicane, sorry, wow, what is it with me today? The hairpin, and unfortunately isn't able to make the move work on Ryan Adam. Tries to have a look there on the outside line, but isn't able to find an opportunity to get past. As we look at Pavel Sar then, 4/10 of a gap separates him and Eric Novosad as we head down the start-finish straight down the run into turn number 1. And Pavel Sar will have to stay behind for the time being. Maybe sensed a bit of an opportunity there to try and do something on Eric Novosad, but just isn't close enough for the time being. So you now see a Koto Sambi round 2 between him and Charles Scheinert then on lap 8, as Sambi and Charles Scheinert now go wheel to wheel. Function of Charles Scheinert trying to hold steady on the outside line there, but Sambi is going to be able to get up a wheel alongside. Function of Charles Scheinert heading down into turn number 4 then. Is he going to be able to make it work this time, as they are wheel to wheel? But just more traction on the outside line for Function of Charles Scheinert, and he is able to defend from a Koto Sambi. Good stuff from Function of Charles Scheinert, placing his car very well then in the moments where he needs it the most. And Sambi just isn't able to get past, unfortunately for him. Head down into turn number 9 then. Yasmir FG thinks better, but this time doesn't try it into turn 9 and stays behind Ryan Adam for the time being. As we go up a bit further up the field to Aiden Smith in the Team Down the Line racing car. He is chasing down Rahul Patel, the championship leader for 7th, who obviously will not mind a points finish here today, considering it will put him a few more points ahead of his rival Giulia Cisetti. So Patel will be trying to defend the P7 as much as he can. As here's a Koto Sambi still trying to make it stick here in function of Charles Scheinert, having a look on the outside line, up to the inside line instead then. As this has really been a great battle here for P16 in this race, as Sambi goes down the inside into turn 1, through turn 2, looks to be ahead, but Charles Scheinert has the better traction on the inside line through turn 2, and is able to keep it wheel to wheel then with the Koto Sambi here. As we head down into turn 4, Sambi on the inside line, as the two go wheel to wheel. Charles Scheinert on the outside line. Is he going to cover off Sambi once more? Yes, he does. And it's going to be functional Charles Scheinert brilliantly defending from a Koto Sambi here for 17th, or 16th, sorry, in this race. Good stuff from functional Charles Scheinert. As we look a bit further up the field, Jafari Blackwood now pressuring Emilia Konishina for P4 in this race. Konishina struggling to keep up with the boys in the podium. Jafari Blackwood could try and get a good result here for Team Toms, obviously, considering Toms are holding off a one-man Red Bull Mugen in the championship. So yeah, Blackwood at least will be trying to score as much points as possible for himself and his team here at Sepang. Still ridiculous to think that Red Bull Mugen, who is a one-car team consisting of Rahul Patel, sits second in the championship. That is absolutely ridiculous when you do put it into thought. But yeah, it really just goes to show Rahul Patel's incredible consistency this season, already scoring 3 podiums in 4 races, and unfortunately for Rahul, that podium streak might just come to an end here today. But yeah, still finishing in the points. Rahul definitely will not be able to complain about that. Looking to the battle for second then, Pavel Sar putting the pressure on Eric Novosad here. Novosad already succumbed to the pressure a few laps earlier on Linus Timel, and is not looking to do it once again now, as Pavel Sar is piling it on behind the Canadian. It's about 4/10 separating the two, but it's all about being patient then behind the other car, as it is, as you just have to wait for that golden moment, that golden opportunity to get past the driver ahead of you and strike when they least expect it. Just like Linus Timell did on Eric Novosad. Novosad making a mistake and Timell immediately seizing the moment, taking him by storm and pulling off a very, very nice move. Here's Miran FG chasing down Ryan Adam. Is he going to be able to do anything here heading into the final corner? Not quite. And FG will stay behind as that's Pavel Sar. Think he was trying a move there on Eric Novosad. Has a look on the inside line through turn 2. But unfortunately for Pavel, he will have to stay behind. And he's lost a lot of momentum there on exit. Lost about 2 tenths heading out of turn 2. And that's not optimal for Pavel Sar. Now he's going to have to spend the rest of the lap just recuperating those tenths that he lost and trying to get back, trying to get closer as he was before to Eric Novosad. Going a bit further down the field and looking at the battle for 7th, Rahul Patel struggling to keep up with Samit Özkan in 6th here. And now his P7 could be under threat here as Aiden Smith is now putting the pressure on Rahul Patel and could very well try and get himself up into P7 here. Aiden Smith, Mr. Consistent here as well, along with Rahul Patel, has scored points in every single round of the season so far. The only driver, I believe, to do that as well. So, yeah, Aiden, the Irishman, is currently carrying on a very, very good run of form at the moment. As we head down the start-finish straight, gap is about 6 tenths of a second between him and Patel. Docomo team down the line racing. Both of their cars in the top 10 at the moment as Aiden Smith has got his teammate for company there just behind him, Erkinit, in 9th. And Erkinit will be very happy as well about finishing in the points once again. Looking a bit further up the field then, Pavel Sar chasing Novosad down through the sweeping bends of Sector 1, or Sector 2, sorry, here at Malaysia. Just trying to close down that gap, trying to cut down those precious tenths, but at the moment isn't able to do anything. As they round turn 11, then through 12 and 13, you can see how fast those cars take the corners, especially these Dallara Super Formula cars have so much downforce as well. It's like they're stuck on rails through these corners as well, and it's absolutely incredible to see. As Pavel Sar now heads into the final corner. I think he is having a look there on the inside line, but comes to nothing ultimately, and will have to stay behind as he is trying to line up a move here once again. Is he? No. Pavel Sar staying behind, but yeah, pressure is certainly piling on, as I think Eric Novosad did run a bit wide there. I'm not sure if he did, but it looked like he was, and I don't think Pavel was expecting it either. Sar, I think, did go a bit wide himself on the exit of turn number 1. So both of them kind of compromised their lines into turn number 1. So Novosad could afford to get away with that mistake. But the question is, well, not the question, but I think Eric Novosad definitely won't get away with a few more. As they make their way through turn number 7 and turn 8. 5 tenths the gap, then as they head down into the hairpin, of turn number 9. And yeah, nothing changing then for the time being. And Pausai will just have to be able to get past Erik Noasad as soon as possible if he wants a shot at actually contending for the race lead here with Linus Timell, who already has an absolutely massive gap of 5.4 seconds. So yeah, it is very, very massive. Welcome back, Jensen.
Yo.
Haven't missed much really, but we've been observing this battle for second place between Pausai and Erik Noasad, and it is looking very, very close. Then as into turn 1, tries to have a look on the inside line then of turn 1, tries to go on the inside through turn 2 as well, but isn't able to go up alongside Erik Noasad. Pausai just these past few laps has been getting so painstakingly close, it feels like, but just not close enough.
Yeah, it looks like Timell has just disappeared into the sunset 5.5 seconds down the road from these two dueling cars. I'm guessing that Sar is going to get past Novisad sometime in the next couple of laps. Yeah, I haven't really seen too many changes down the order. Evchi's still in the last place. Chisetti's still holding on to P13 as it stands. Just having a quick look. What would happen in the standings if results stay as they are?
I believe Patel would still be in the lead of the championship. None of these three would be within any distance of to take or even challenge for the lead of the championship, but they will certainly rocket up the order. That is certain.
Yes, because the only two people that could overtake Patel in the championship today are in P13 and P17 right now. So with 8 laps to go, I don't think there's going to be any threat there.
Yeah.
And Patel looking to probably extend his championship lead by quite some margin. Yeah, it'll be a lot more interesting to see as we're about to enter the halfway mark of the season.
Yes, indeed. And I think while Giulia Chisetti, as we're currently looking at it right now, she's piling the pressure on Mateusz Material here in 12th. I think while she would have hoped for a bit more in this race, as her hopes might be fulfilled a tiny bit, as she's going to try and go up alongside Mateusz Material here on the outside through turn number 2. She's going to have the inside through turn 3, but the Polish driver keeps it wheel to wheel with the Italian, heading into turn number 4 then. Who is going to be later on the break? Seems to be Chisetti, but Material is going to be able to swing it around the outside line to, I think, get the position as Chisetti tries to have a look on the outside to try and keep it wheel to wheel, but it's in vain for Chisetti, unfortunately, and Material will be in P12.
Yeah, some exciting racing going on here. We've got 8 laps to go here as Timell still disappearing into the sunset. Pulled away another second from Novisad. As we're going to watch Chisetti now. Chisetti probably getting a bit frustrated. I feel like a lot of these drivers might be getting a bit frustrated. Like this man, Miran Evci, stuck in P19, down in rock bottom last, and don't see that changing anytime soon, despite how close he's following that car ahead of a dam. A lot of the drivers holding position for a lot of this race. So probably might start seeing some tensions boil over because of the lack of progress some may feel like they're not making in this race.
Yeah, desperate times call for desperate measures, I do suppose. As Miran Evci, who has been stuck behind Ryan and them the entire race, it feels like, is going to try and put a change to that as he's going to go to the inside line through the final corner, and I don't think he's going to be wheel to wheel as Adam gets the better exit on the outside line then, but Evci is gonna, I think, get the overspeed here. Maybe he's gonna be able to get a bit of slipstream as well into turn 1. No, isn't able to try it, and unfortunately for the Swede, he's gonna have to stay behind.
Runs very, very wide out of the corner. Very interesting line through there. Didn't really gain him anything, to say the least. Just no real racing going on, real overtaking moves going on at the moment. As we're going to cut back to Saar racing up front with Novosad, and I think Saar's just a little bit too far behind to challenge Novosad into this corner. I think the track is just too windy for these drivers to try and navigate around each other. It's a good track for racing, but at these speeds, there's a lot of single-filed lines going through these corners because of the nature of the circuit, with it being just one line through most corners. The main straightaway should be helping with overtaking like this straight here. 927 meters. I did some research whilst I was eating. 927 meters long, this back straightaway. Nothing really going on here. Chisetti now onto the start of this back straightaway, all over the back of Mattis Material. Pulls out to the side Material trying to get as wide of an exit as possible using all of the track, and to no avail for Chisetti. Chisetti still in P13, back Schumacher.
Yeah, Chisetti, I think, probably is a bit frustrated that she's unable to get past Mateusz Material, the Polish driver, putting up quite a valiant effort in defense as Chisetti has a look on the inside line, but Material shuts the door. Chisetti tries the inside through turn 2, but it just doesn't work for the Italian, and she has to stay behind, and she's lost valuable 10th as well.
Yes, just a small train forming up here. Timel now opening that gap up to 7.5 seconds. I think Timel has well and truly won this race in a much more dominant style than Chisetti did last time out in the Philippines. Blackwood now trying to make a move on Konechna, who's 2 seconds behind that battle for P2. So I think the podium fight is probably sealed as well. I don't think there's going to be any more podium battles for today. Commentator's curse coming soon. Blackwood trying to get that better exit, runs a little bit wider than Konechna through that corner. He's going to have to slipstream down the straight. Going to have to see if that gap closes by any amount, and don't believe it is. Just rounding the final corner now as Timel starts lap 18 of 22 in this race, and I don't really see any moves going to be made into turn 1 at the rate that it's going.
Yeah, it's quieting down a bit, but that doesn't mean that the action won't quiet down. You've still got a lot of battles going on here, especially this one, the battle for 12 at the moment between Chisetti and Material. Unfortunately for Giulia Chisetti, I don't think she is going to be able to score points here at Sepang, so she's just going to have to keep her head down and focus on the next round.
Yes. Chisetti probably not going to make any points here today. Just doing the math in my head, probably about 4 seconds off of a point scoring position, and it's just not going to be it today. It does really shuffle the order about, though, in the championship, the way that the current classification is. Konechna 2 seconds off of Saar still. Saar all over the back of Novosad. But still nothing being done by Saar. Saar's got to try and get this move done. We're getting to that point of the race now where there isn't really that much time left to get that move done. You want to be in control of that position just before the end of the race. You don't want to be squabbling into the final corner and risk a collision and ruin everything you've worked up for in this race. Just going to see if Saar can gain anything on Novosad. That gap has remained at about half a second. We're going to watch now Sambi trying to get past Chalchinaz on this back straightaway back to Schumacher.
Yeah, Linus Timel now says the fast lap of the race, and that's going to be 1 extra point for Linus Timel, as Sambi and Chalchinaz, these two who have been battling for so long as well, might just have hostilities resume, as Sambi could be able to try a move here.
Yes, just going to watch down to turn 1. Just watching back with Chisetti. Chisetti making a move down the inside. There was a gap there. Material left a gap, but Chisetti tries to make that move, but it doesn't work. Just watching with Sambi now. Sambi trying to make something work here. Don't know what that's going to be. Probably an overtake down towards turn 3 or turn 4. Passes the first sector split. Sambi now too far back to make an overtake, and I think that's going to be that just for now, because we've got this fast sweeping corner where you don't really tend to see too many moves being done, especially in these kinds of cars.
Yeah, Sambi is going to have to wait, but the question will be then how much more can he wait? We've only got about 3 laps left, and Ekoto Sambi has been stuck behind functional Charles Shiner for ages now. Will probably be feeling a bit frustrated behind the man from Thailand.
Yes, just probably lots of frustrations all over the field, to be honest. Stuck in position. No one wants to feel like they're not making any kind of progress in a race, especially when you can see the car right in front of you. You feel like you can't get past them. It probably feels like you're losing loads of time to the cars in front, but they're all experiencing what everyone else is feeling. As Timel has opened that gap up now to 10 seconds, which is incredible, to be honest, in a spec series race, especially starting from was it P1? P2?
P2, yeah.
P2. Yes, P2. So I was on pole, that's my mistake. Sambi now onto the main straightaway we go to start their 20th lap of the race. Crossing the line now. Any moves into turn 1? Gonna have to see. Gonna have to wait for Chalchinat to either make a mistake or for Sambi to force it. And I don't think it's going to happen this time around either. And Sambi running a little bit wide again. I wonder what that line is that a lot of drivers are trying, where they run a little bit wider into that corner. You don't seem to benefit from anything.
I think what they're doing is they're trying to set themselves up for moving to turn 2. But it just never has worked, really. So I don't really know what they're getting at.
No, I don't, to be honest, either. Saar now coming up towards the back of Novosad once again into the final sector. They enter now. We've got 3 laps here left to go. Just watching now, see if Saar can try and challenge at all before we get to the end of this race, and I don't think that's going to be likely given what we've seen from elsewhere, but anything can happen in motor racing. Saar now onto that back straightaway. Gonna have to get the throttle down and pinned. Just going to see if that gap's going to close up a bit. Closes a little bit, probably about half a tenth of a second, a tenth of a second there. Down into the braking zone as Timel sets the fastest lap again on those used tyres. That's something incredible, to be honest. 1:45.5 for Timel. As Saar is a little bit closer than they have been on other laps. See if Saar can challenge for P2. And I don't think it's going to be it. See if he makes that wide line. Yes, he does. That's never seemed to work. We've actually got an overtake. We've got Sambi and Chalchinat. I wonder what happened to Chalchinat to let that happen. But Sambi and Chalchinat going wheel to wheel. Over to you, Moran.
Yeah, Sambi's going to go to the inside line, then into turn number 1, as the Impul driver will finally try and wrestle his way past. Through turn 1 we go, and then into turn number 2. Chalchinat tries to keep it wheel to wheel on the inside line, but there's only so much he can do as Ekoto Sambi finally, after trying all these laps, gets up into 16.
Yeah, Sambi making an overtake. Finally gets his move up into P16, which honestly has been coming up for some time now, and it's finally happened as we're on lap 21 of 22 on the penultimate lap of this race. Just watching Saar now. Saar still sticking very tight with Novosad. Just going to see now if anything will happen. The answer is probably going to be no, but a man can hope and pray. Onto this back straight we go. In the slipstream once more, down towards that penultimate corner, as Timel is about to start the final lap of this race. Just look at that gap, 11.5 seconds to P2, which is an absolute... That's astronomical in these cars, that distance. P3 now trying to make a move much closer this time round. We're on to the final lap. I think they're looking for a move down the inside. Much closer this time round. Is anything going to happen here? No. Actually, maybe.
No, not quite for Pavel Sar. I think that was his one opportunity, and I think it's gone for Pavel Sar. We can always wait and see what's going to happen, but Eric Novosad, there was a bit of space forward, but as Pavel Sar spotted it, the door was closed, and unfortunately for Pavel Sar, I think he's just going to have to settle for third. So, yeah.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the end of that. Really, 2 more overtaking opportunities on that track, and that's that weird hairpin style corner before the start of Sector 3 and the final corner at the pit entry. Excuse me. So, now, one more time here. As I mentioned, probably a little bit too far back to try and make a move stick here. Yes, I think Novosad has got P2 sealed. As Tim Elf coming up towards that back straightaway, which shows how massive that gap is. I think the squabbling in the entire field and a dirty air has helped well. You can see Tim Elf right at the top of the screen there.
Yeah, he is just absolutely so far away, and it has been a really deserved win for this man in the BMAX Racing, as he only has 1 corner to go after 4 years. Welcome back to the top step of the podium, Linus Timell, as he wins here in Sepang, and Linus Timell takes the win here at Malaysia. Eric Novosad once again delivers at Sepang. P2 and Pavel Sar, what a way to score your first points of the season. P3, same for Emilia Konishin as well in 4th. Rahul Patel will extend his lead of the championship in 7th, and for Giulia Cesetti, unfortunately, it just maybe wasn't meant to be today.
Yeah, Cesetti doesn't have to set off a P13. I think once still qualified down in P14, I think any chance of a result here pretty much out the window. There's a dam across his line, FG P19, and that's to round off all of the runners today. No retirements, and there you can see Timel as your race winner with the fastest lap, of course.
Yeah, brilliant showing from Linus Timell here today. And yeah, he takes the win ahead of Novosad and Sar. Then it's Konishin finishing in 4th for her first points this season, with Samet Özkan in 6th. I forgot about Jafari Blackwood in 5th. Sorry, Jafari Blackwood. And then Rahul Patel in 7th, extending his lead of the championship. Then it is Team Down the Line scoring double points here today, as Aidan Smith finishes 8th with his teammate Ed Kinnett in 9th, with Zachary Fitzwater finishing in 10th, and I'll let you take the rest.
Yes. And now P11 is Simpson, 12th is Material, Cisetti, P13, P14 is Kang, Trimborn, P15, 16th is Zambi, who set the fastest Sector 1 out of anyone, which is very interesting. Chalchinat in P17, Adam and FG rounding off the grid in P18 and P19.
Yep. And that has been it then for Super Formula today. Thank you so much for watching. It's been a very interesting race indeed. And before we go, Jensen, it is time to award the very tricky driver of the day. And would you like to go first?
I'd like to say I've probably been boring because last time I picked a race winner. This time I'm picking a race winner as well, Timel, just because, as you said, first time on that top step in 4 years, and to do it in such a dominant fashion, to just overtake for the lead and then just run away with it 12 seconds down the road, that's absolutely massive. So that's my driver of the day.
Yeah, honestly, I would say I could agree with you there, and I would give it to Linus Timell, but I am going to be different for once, actually. As much as I think Linus Timell put in a great drive today, I am going to give it to Zachary Fitzwater Sr. I think he pulled off a lot of good overtakes today. He started outside the points, and while it is only a P10, it's a very hard-fought P10 in my eyes. So
yeah, I can agree with that.
Driver of the day. But yeah, that has been it then for Super Formula here today. Next round, we will be returning back to Japan, and we'll go to the Autopolis circuit for the first time in the history of Super Formula. So make sure to not miss that. next rounds of Formula One, Formula Two, and Porsche Super Cup, I believe, will also take place, as we will be heading to the Hockenheimring for the following time we do races there as well. But yeah, that has been it then for Super Formula. Thanks so much for watching. I've been Miran.
And I've been Jensen.
And we will see you when the A season returns. Thank you and goodbye.